evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Dugout Football Channel for probably the biggest game in English football still. But if you saw where both teams are at the moment, you might have other ideas. But it is Manchester United against Liverpool. And joining me is the lovely Sophie Richards from Ladies in Red. How are you, Sophie?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Doug. Apart from the situation in my football team, which I'm sure we'll discuss in a minute. Apart from that, I'm doing very well, thanks. And how are you? And thanks for having me again.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing very, very well. Obviously, new job is obviously got underway, and I'm really enjoying it. It's nice to be in an office, and it's actually nice to have my evenings back. I can actually sit down, watch football, and I'll be able to watch obviously like Champions League and obviously Europa League as well when it obviously comes as well. But no, I'm good. I am good. Patrick's in. Hello, Patrick. Hope you are very well, my friend. Yeah, there's only one place to start. What is going on at your football club? I mean, 2 back-to-back defeats against Brentford and Brighton. Now, you could say that, yes, they are very, very bad defeats, but this is not just this time. This happened last season as well, didn't it?
Yeah, we were all expecting at least a new manager bounce when Ten Hag came in. It happens at most clubs. A new manager comes in and you go on a run of a few games, at least a few games where it's positive. We haven't even had that. Like, we've started this season where we left last season, and it's just... If only it was as easy to say what is the problem, be able to answer it, because I think there's just so many deep-rooted problems at the club. It's just horrible. And it's heartbreaking as a fan, obviously, to sit there and witness what we're witnessing week in, week out. And it's the same old from us. Obviously, we have got certain new players in, but the core of the squad and whatnot is the same as it was last season. So did we expect too much to change? Obviously, there's only so much that Ten Hag can do, and I think these players have proven themselves to be simply not good enough or not wanting it enough, or I don't know what the issue is, but there's a severe mentality issue there for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously this season, pre-season, I think you had an okay pre-season, and I think at the time, I think everyone was kind of thinking, yeah, this is going to be a very, very good season. And then obviously, look what happens. You lose 2-1 to Brighton. And then that Brentford game, I have to say, I don't think I've ever seen a performance like that. I've never seen you 4-0 down after 35 minutes.
We've never seen a performance like that, but I think that was coming. Obviously, the Liverpool game last season, for example, we beat us 5.
Yeah.
We've got a lot. We got quite lucky, let's be honest, with Ronaldo being there and obviously firing. If it wasn't for that, we've already said where would we be last season without him. And genuinely, like I joked about it, I said Burnley played better footballer than us at the end of last season. And I stand by that. You look at how we've started this season, like genuinely, we are by far the worst team in the league at the moment. We deserve to be where we are. We're atrocious. Even teams like, I don't know, disrespect teams, but even that teams have just come up, they're playing better football than what we are.
Yeah.
And now a lot of people say it's a reflection on the manager and the manager has to get them playing and whatnot. And to an extent, I agree that there were certain players who played at the weekend where I probably would have changed it. But at the same time, you're telling me that team that we put out against Brighton couldn't do better than that, couldn't do better than being 4-0 down after 35 minutes. Do you know what I mean? And that's where I'm at a loose. And we know there's obviously issues above. I know there's rumours today about Sir Jim Radcliffe wanting to buy United and whatnot. Apparently, we could be up for sale. We all know what needs to happen, but regardless of that, for me, those individuals, you're playing for pride, you're playing for the badge, and we just don't see that. And that's the most gutting thing about the whole situation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And obviously, I know from last season you went to. You were at that 5-0 game.
Don't bring that up.
No. I certainly won't. But something's just not right in Manchester United, and I don't think it has been for a while. And actually, when you look at the amount of players that you've signed as well, like Malacia has signed, Eriksen has signed, and Martinez have signed. Now that's 3 really good players. Now Christian Eriksen is a very, very good signing, in my honest opinion. Malacia, very, very good for Feyenoord last season. I think he will do well at Manchester United. Martinez, everyone talks about his height, but you know what? Like, I think John Terry was 5'7" or something like that. You know, the height issue shouldn't be a thing. But
think with the height issue, I mean, I was sick of it. Like, obviously, already depressed watching what we were watching at the weekend. But then the commentators constantly, like, it's Martinez's height. That's what they refer to. And I think the fact that he's shorter, yeah. But didn't he win like most aerial duels or something in the league last
yeah,
year, or he was up
last
there?
season.
So obviously, like that attribute, like it's a bit unfair, but that's just an easy thing for them to zone in on and blame Ten Hag for. You know, the
Yeah.
media's like, we know how they work. And I think that's an easy one. Oh, we brought in this player who obviously isn't tall enough. So we're going to obviously, you know what I mean? And I just think it's harsh.
Yeah.
He's going to take a while to settle. I'm not going to look, no one's played well so far. So I'm not going to lie and say, oh, Martinez has really impressed me, because it's too early to say that. We conceded 4 goals against Brighton. So how can I say that? But I do think that it's an easy target, isn't it, for those people from the outside looking in?
Yeah, definitely. And you must be sick and tired of transfer rumours, because I've just seen this tweet from Deadline Day Live, and honestly, it doesn't surprise me. Players linked to Manchester United in the last 3 days: Rabiot, deal's dead. Deal is absolutely dead. Joe Felix,
I'm glad, though.
Casemiro,
I'm glad.
Moon. Yeah, I bet. Definitely. Yeah, his mum sounds a bit of a psycho. Anyway, Meunier, Vardy, Icardi, Moussa Dembele, Aubameyang, Morata, Sommer, Pulisic, Hudson-Odoi, Ziyech, Anthony, Dest, Caicedo, Cunha, and I thought this was a very funny one. Melie from Leeds.
Honestly, I've lost, like I said, I've lost count. It's got to the point, like on Twitter, you know what, I'm like, Doug, I'll mute Love Island straight away because I don't want to see anything on Twitter. It's getting that close to muting Manchester United because I'm just so sick. Unfortunately, that's all I use Twitter for, but I'm just so sick of seeing our name mentioned with the same old recycled rumours and some of the lazy stuff that's coming out as well. I mean, Joe Felix, why on earth would he want to come to Manchester United at this current time? Like, why on earth and why would you enter into talks when the season has started? Like, it just doesn't make sense. It's just lazy, isn't it? It's just the club putting leaks out there to try and paper over the cracks and try and appease the fans who are obviously very rattled. And obviously with the protests coming on Monday as well, I'm sure the fans are trying to appease that. Hence the rumours for the takeover and whatnot as well are always being up for sale. But apparently there is some truth in that. I'm not a source and I'm not going to claim to be. But yeah, the amount of rumours, it's unhealthy, like, to keep reading those same rumours over and over again, especially the way where we are on the pitch right now. There's just you try and get a glimmer of hope and you just can't.
I mean, obviously, I have obviously said about Malas, Martinez, and Eriksen. How many do you still need in this window?
We need 11 players, Doug. Like, we needed that at the start, but that ain't going to happen. I read a tweet not long ago saying apparently United still want to sign 5 before the end of the window. I can't see that happening. We can't get simple deals over the line, so no way. I can't see that happening. I think if we get a midfielder, another forward, midfield has to be the priority. Like, I'm not happy regardless of where else we sign if we don't sign that midfielder, to be honest with you. The Ronaldo situation obviously is an interesting one as well. Apparently he's going to do an interview in 2 weeks. Why wait 2 weeks? If you know, I don't understand. But yeah, it's just frustrating. So frustrating. I think if we could get, like, say, a midfielder, a forward, possibly I'd like a right back. There's 3 signings. I think that, but again, I can't see that happening. The midfield has to be the priority.
Yeah, definitely. Let's get into the comments, because obviously I have kind of eluded the comments. Hello, Ravi. I hope you're good. This game is crunch time for both. That is an understatement. That is definitely an understatement. Hello, Sophie and Douglas. Both are in a slight blue shirt. LFC haven't won a match yet. We'll give them encouragement. I would like to hear Sophie's thoughts on if Cristiano will leave this month or not.
Who can afford him? That's the only thing. He obviously wants out. From a standpoint that we want to keep him. But if it is that true, obviously there's been leaks coming out that apparently he's been stroppy, he's been sitting and having lunch on his own. Apparently he's been very, you don't know what to believe. He has come out and said only a few of the stories are true. It'd be interesting to see what stories he's referring to. But you can't blame him. You cannot blame him. Like, he wants Champions League football. His goals last season without him, like I've already said, where would we be? The thing that got to me was it was on my birthday. I remember I was having a fancy dress party and everyone comes up and was winding me up saying Ronaldo's leaving, and I was like, what are you on about? So why wait till July the 4th to say that, oh, by the way, I'm leaving? Like, that was a bit of a dick move, really, to wait that long into a window. You can't blame him if he goes, personally, I know a lot of United fans are now at the point where they think he's turning toxic and he needs to go. I don't believe everything that I read. I'm intrigued to see what this interview will say in a few weeks' time. But if you can keep Cristiano in your team, for me, you keep Cristiano in your team, like regardless, because he's an absolute cheat code, really, in terms of his goals and ultimately football's about scoring goals. So I would want to keep him unless it is true that he's being toxic and whatnot, and it is causing a divide. But we already know there's cliques there at United anyway, and we already knew that Ten Hag had a massive job in his hands to settle that coming in.
Yeah, definitely. Hello, Arpon, up, you're good. How does Darwin, Jota, Thiago missing help United?
Like literally, we saw Brighton tear us a new win at the weekend. Doesn't really matter who we're playing up against. I think for us, we've just got to focus on ourselves. Like I said earlier, we're playing for pride. We're playing for that badge on our chest. And these players, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what Ten Hag does, because he can over rotate and think, you know what, you had your chance, you blew it, rotate, which I would love to see. Or he could put these players back out there and say, this is your mess, you caused it, go and clear it up. But the issue is with these players, we know they haven't got the attitude where they will come and clear it up. If there's any pressure applied to them, they bottle it. And that's the concerning thing. For me, if I'm Ten Hag, I'm rotating. But look, Darwin, I think, obviously, he lost his head the other night. And so it proved that he can get rattled. Literally lost his head, but, like I say, Liverpool, regardless, have still got very, very good attacking players. Of course, that helps not having your star signing in Darwin playing their very physical presence, especially he'd pin himself on Martinez, you'd think, which would be a really interesting battle. But I don't think it changed too much. I think the young lad, Elliot, who played in the midfield instead of Thiago the other day, did a really good job. And I think, like, your midfield, I think the battle, that's where the battle will be. And we know how weak our midfield is.
Yeah, definitely. Sophie's talking facts. Hello, Rennie. I'm good. I hope you're good as well. There's no fight, desire, or commitment from the players at the moment. After every goal conceded, you see shots of players screaming, come on, but that's as far as it goes. Yeah, definitely. Question for both. Which team has the more advantage? Ooh. To be honest, I don't think teams are scared going to Old Trafford anymore. I think you've lost that fear factor.
We're more scared. United fans are more scared going to Old Trafford than opposition teams right now, because we do know what we're going to see. Unfortunately, it's going to be drizzle. It's going to be crap. But I think this game, in a weird way, obviously we're major underdogs. Everyone's expecting us to get battered, regardless of us being at home. Everyone is expecting that. Obviously, with the pressure on the board and whatnot, and the pressure obviously on Ten Hag because new manager coming in, you'd have to say that Liverpool have the advantage, even though obviously we are at home. But you are right. Like, you haven't exactly had the best start to the season either, have you? Like, it's a leapfrog game. If we win, we go above you in the league, don't we? Which is mad.
Yeah, you do.
So that's what I mean. Like, this game, it's come really early in the season, and I think that's kind of a good thing for both teams, because we haven't exactly got off to the best start. And this could kickstart either of our seasons, realistically.
Yeah, definitely. Vardy isn't going to United. No, 100%. That's no, 100%. That's not happening. He's staying at Leicester, 1-year contract. Yeah, I did see he might be signing on the contract. Oh, Sebastian, hope you're good. No, he's not going to United. I think that's just. I just think that's the athletic voting clicks, to be honest. Man United don't need a lot right back and midfielders. A lot right back. Like, I mean, when Barcelona, who, let's be honest, have signed more and often loads of players. The fact that two of your right backs are linked with Barcelona, Aram Ambasaka and Dalot, and now obviously you're getting links to like Meunier.
Yes.
Obviously, a right back looks like to be one of the positions that you probably need.
We do. The only fullback obviously is Meunier is one, and Dest. They're the only two like fullbacks that we linked to. But look, Dalot, the jury's kind of out on him. I think because he's still classed him as being fairly young. Obviously, he went out on loan and whatnot. His United career still early, but for me, he has no end product. He was brought in because of his crossing ability, and he overhit so many crosses. Wan-Bissaka, we just know he suffers going forwards positionally as well at the back post. He can get caught out. We need a right back. We simply need a right back. But again, we've left it so late in the market. Like, who realistically is out there? But I've already said it. Obviously, for me, the midfield, because it has been for so long now, has to be the priority. But a right back would obviously be nice, and a forward, especially depending on what happens with Ronaldo as well.
Yeah. There is talk that Sir Jim Ratcliffe might be buying I think it's a stake in Manchester United, and then I read that potentially he could buy out the Glazers. So, look, I've said it so many times. You just need to get rid of those leeches, and I'm sorry I call them leeches, but I could call them every name under the sun, and I'm not going to do that because obviously I don't want to lose my channel and all that, but. They are definitely leeches, and they have to go. They have to go.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been there since 2005, which is mental. I remember. Do you know? I actually remember. I remember all the stories when the Glazers bought Manchester United, and there was a big protest then that they shouldn't. And now what's happened? It's just dragged on to 2022. So nobody wants. Well, do they want
It's
Ronaldo?
the money side of it. It's the money side of it as well. Obviously, there is the fact that it's not the Ronaldo that we all once knew. Of course, there is that, but it's the money element as well. For his age, like what clubs realistically want to fork out that kind of money? There's only a handful of clubs you'd say that would be willing to do that, and that's the trouble that we're having, isn't it? So, yeah, it's a sad state of affairs, isn't it? Obviously, we all expect him to come back, and not necessarily to be a fairy tale, but he scored plenty of goals. We wanted it to be like kind of written in the stars, and it just hasn't gone that way, has it?
Yeah. Oscar today, I've heard this. I heard a rumour Maguire might not play. Well, there's talk that Ten Hag is prepared to drop his captain. Now, it's not the time for progressiveness like Varane. Stick to what's worked so far. It's the only way to grow. Well, you say that,
What's worked so far, though?
Maguire has been shocking.
Look, you know what?
Are you surprised he's still captain?
Yes. Yeah. Look, I'm one of the few, actually. I'm not defending Harry Maguire because I've already sat here and said nobody's played well. For me, all of them have been poor, including Maguire. And as captain, obviously, he's one of the first names that gets mentioned. But I always said for England, especially in that back three that he was playing, he was superb. And you don't turn a bad player overnight. Obviously, that happened in Greece. He came back from the Euros and it kind of went to pot for him, Rashford and Sancho and Shaw. And I think that captaincy really got on. Obviously, that all happened as well, but I think the captaincy, along with that, the pressure, I think he really struggled. And I was hoping this season he'd have the armband removed, but it would still be there. And I felt like he'd still be a mainstay in the team and they'd feel a bit more confident. But with the armband still there, the pressure's just building. If we decided this season we were winning games, it would have relieved a little bit. But losing games in the manner that we have and conceding goals in the manner that we have done, of course, is going to get stick. And I hope it is true that Maguire is dropped. I hope it is true. But I can't see it. Personally, I can't see it. And it depends what kind of manager Ten Hag is. Is he a guy that says you've made this mess, go and sort it out? Or is he a guy that says, you know what, you had your chance, you lost it, and he drops them? And I think that's what we'll find out on Monday.
Yeah, definitely. Rennie says 100% Liverpool 5-0. I don't think it's going to be that, Rennie. I'll say that now. It ain't going to be 5-0. I don't want Milner to start, says Sebastian. We will get on to team selections in a wee bit. I want Carvalho, Keita, Fabinho versus United on Monday. So Carvalho, for me, he's more of a number 10, so I don't think he's really that much of a midfielder. But we'll obviously come on to team selections. Phillips should not start versus Manchester United. We should not play Phillips and Milner in 2022. But if Klopp sees that Joe Gomez is not fit, who else is available? That's the thing. Nathaniel Phillips was the only fit centre back the other night. So hi Kevin, hello. Hope you're good. Oh Christ, here we go. Thoughts on Captain America on loan to United?
You know what? A lot of people are getting Nixon a twist over this on Twitter, and I'm trying to think of it from a logical point of view. Pulisic is a very good player, a very talented player when he is fit, which is obviously a big thing in brackets when he is fit. But I definitely think he's the kind of player who bolsters our squad, adds a bit of quality, a bit more squad depth, which we know that we massively need. He needs to play regular football, you'd think, in terms of the World Cup coming up. So I actually don't think it's too bad of a move. The only thing I would say about it is I would like to see a possible buy at the end of that loan. So if we can buy him, if there's a clause where we can buy him at the end, then I think that move makes more sense. To just loan him and then get him into that World Cup squad and then get him back to Chelsea just doesn't make sense totally. If it's an idea of a loan with an idea to buy, then I think that deal makes more sense. But in terms of Pulisic as a player, obviously injuries aside, that is a risk in terms of how many injuries he's had. But when he's fit, I think it definitely improves our squad. We need attacking reinforcements, Premier League proven. I didn't actually shudder too much when I saw that news, I'll be honest. I'm much more fun. Like from a Liverpool point of view, when you read that, like, do you think he's a player you could visualise at United?
I've always wanted Pulisic at Liverpool, so that ain't happening. I think he improves you. Because look what's happened to, like, and obviously you'll know, like, you're a big Marcus Rashford fan. Like, his form is just completely gone. His confidence looks shot. Jadon Sancho's another one. His confidence looks shot as well. So getting
Sancho
another
last
player in.
season. Sorry, I was going to say Sancho last season. A lot of people kind of stayed quiet because in flashes, obviously, scored against City and whatnot. In flashes, he looked good, but we're like, oh, it's a new player. When we get Ten Hag in next season, that'll suit him to a T, and he's going to hit the ground running. So far this season, he's been playing very within himself, and like I say, it's not just him as a team. We're poor, very poor. But this season for Sancho, I was expecting big things from him. I think he's kind of had a free ride because of him being so new and whatnot. But he's surely going to want to break into that World Cup squad as well. And he needs to beat a man. Like, I'm sick of seeing our wingers just take a touch backwards and pass the ball back. Like, very rarely will you see them bypass the man and run past the man and take a risk. And that's obviously something that is ingrained into these players. Whether it's a confidence thing, I don't know. But Sancho, jury's out on him. I think this season is a big season for him at United.
Yeah, definitely. But no, I think Pulisic would be a good signing. In all honesty, it's whether or not Chelsea look at you as a top four, rival. Like I think if you were to say Christian Pulisic over Marcus Rashford, or Pulisic maybe to play up front, I think they've got one eye potentially on Ronaldo not staying probably.
You've got to, yeah.
So I think you've got to make arrangements. I mean, I look at the names that on that list that I read out. Vardy, is he what 35, 36? Like that. You need to get out of the habit of giving players who are 30 plus age a big contract, like big contract offers. Because look, Vardy for me, I think he would suit at Manchester United. I really, really do. But it's whether or not you would risk him for like 1 or 2 seasons.
For me, it just shows exactly where we're at. As a fault of the board, the fault of the club are not getting signings done earlier. We're at the part of the window now where we're literally scrapping around. We're getting scraps, we're getting leftovers. So you are going to come up for players. But for me, Jamie Vardy, like I just said about Pulisic, he improves our squad. He improves our squad.
Definitely.
He gives us something a bit different. So again, I'm not shuddering at it, but I'm just shaking my head at the fact that we shouldn't be like the whole recruitment process is just wrong.
Yeah.
But we're at this point in the window now where we need players in. So it's like beggars can't be choosers. Do you know what I mean? So it's so frustrating, honestly. So frustrating. And obviously Casemiro is another one that we're being linked to. Obviously people in the chat talking about that as well. I like Casemiro, I've got to be honest. That's the only link that I've seen that I get excited by is Casemiro. And again, obviously, age and whatnot, obviously Premier League proven and whatnot, but his attitude, definitely better than what we've got in midfield. Obviously, he's a winner. But again, I can't see it happening. I can't see any deals happening with this board. Like, I can never feel confident until they're holding that shirt up. But I'm just saying that rumour is the one that gets me a bit excited. All the others, if we've gone through, I'm not too keen on.
El Scarcere is saying Casemiro links heating up. That would actually work and possibly improve Fred too. Obviously not a long-term fix and big wages too. Reese has just sent me something actually. This is actually just being broken just now. Glazer family conducted first round of talks via legal representatives Tuesday. Initial discussion was regarding a full sale and not minority. So read into that what you will, but you might be getting rid of the Glazers for good. Manchester United players who play for the badge, they haven't got many, but I always feel Jared Bowen would be a good signing and always gives it his all from when I've watched him. Yeah, Jared Bowen's a fantastic player.
You know what, a player, and a lot of people in the chat are probably frown at this, but I'm thinking, why is no one else mentioning this? But Conor Gallagher. Why aren't we looking at Conor Gallagher?
Yes.
He wants to get in that England squad for the World Cup. He's not going to play regular for Chelsea. The only downfall is Kante's just got injured, which probably will help Gallagher in terms of some game time. But in general, he's not going to be starting ahead of those players. So we could possibly, you know what I mean? We could probably turn his head if we were to have it. But I don't know. I'm not a scout, and maybe there's a reason why we're not looking at that kind of player. But for me, I'm scratching my head thinking, surely that's a player there who, for me, is a quality player. He's still young as well, so he's still kind of raw. But I don't know.
Obviously, Ten Hag has obviously come in, and it's not been the best of starts for him. Do you think you'll give him time?
We've got to. If there's a takeover and whatnot, I think that obviously helps because it's a clean slate for everybody, isn't it? And hopefully we'll get the back in because I think nobody's under the illusion that he's made bad signings or he hasn't made the signings. We're not blaming him at all. Yeah. He can only go with what he's been given. Do you know what I mean? So Like I said, I like the look of Martinez. I know a lot of people focus on his hype because it's an easy thing to label. Oh, Ten Hag got that wrong. Do you know what I mean? It's an easy thing to pick on. Eriksen, you've already mentioned, is a very good signing. Malacia, I'm not going to act like an expert, but what I will say, when he has played, at least he's had a bit of bite and a bit of fight, which we haven't seen from most players. And I'm not saying that's a standard you need for playing for Manchester United, but that should be a basic. That should be there regardless. And a lot of our players have lost that fire, it seems.
Yeah, definitely. Hello, Gary. Hope you're good as well. Yeah, the last 3 games between the sides, Liverpool have scored 13 goals, and Man United scored 2. Could you see a back 5 against Liverpool? Could you potentially see Ten Hag going to a back 5?
Again, I think we'll learn a big lesson about Ten Hag on Monday. Is he the type who's going to drop players and say, look, it wasn't good enough, or is he going to give them a chance to correct it? And it'd be interesting to see how ballsy he goes with the selection. Liverpool haven't exactly been free scoring at the start of this season as well.
Nope.
And defensively, haven't exactly been secure with injuries and whatnot as well, of course. So,
no.
I personally, I wouldn't. And for me, attack is our best form of defence, and we've barely seen us attack this season because we've been constantly defending and letting goals in. So I would rather see us be pragmatic and go for it a bit. Yeah, we might concede goals, but at least hopefully we'll have talent enough going forwards to score. Do you know what I mean? So personally, I don't want to see a back 5. I don't like that defensive approach, especially when you defend like we do, where you're going to concede regardless. So I'd rather enjoy a bit of the football I'm witnessing. Do you know what I mean? So but like I say, I think we'll learn a big lesson about Ten Hag. I don't want to see a back 5, but if he is going to do it in a game, this would be the one, wouldn't it? Because he'd probably think, you know what, a draw against Liverpool isn't a bad considering what's happened already this season. So yeah. What do you see as a Liverpool fan?
I just can't see it. I can't see you playing a back 5. I think you could probably. I think what's going to have you play your usual sort of 4-3-3, or no, actually 4. Does it go 4-2-3-1? I don't know. I think it depends who plays in the sort of the defensive midfielder roles. Like, is it going to be McFred? I mean, Fred and Eriksen didn't really work against Brentford, but then again, Eriksen's not really a defensive midfielder. I think you'll just go your usual self. I think it'll be 4-3-3. I think it'll be 4-3-3.
He seems to stick to his guns quite a lot, Ten Hag, and I think he'll do the same again. I'm sure we'll go through lineups in a minute, but I have written down what I would like to see, and I've made a few brutal changes. But I'm not saying that's what we will see. I think it will be very similar to what we saw, and I think it will be a case of go and correct your mistakes because we haven't got that much squad depth. Quite frankly, I think that's why, and that's the main reason. But a lot of fans are like play people like Garner, who apparently we're selling now, which is just bizarre to me.
Oh, that is ridiculous. He's one of your like rising stars, and he's going to go. It's the same with them.
And we need midfielders. That's the thing. We need midfielders. He's a midfielder. Like,
Levitt. This is a good question. This is a very good question from Ravi, because Liverpool have conceded the first goal in the 7 of the last 9 games, I think it is, or something.
We haven't even scored this season. We had an own goal.
It was an own goal. Alexis McAllister.
So for us, this would be the first goal of the season, really. I'm going to say Liverpool scores first. I'm just going to say that defensively, I just do not trust us. I think if we score first, it makes for a very interesting game. If you score first, and our players are known to go within themselves, and a nice early goal for us would definitely be nice. But we haven't this season. We haven't done that. We haven't come out the blocks throwing in this first half. Second half's been slight improvement, but we just haven't got at it.
No, definitely no. I mean, obviously, us against Palace the other night, like we absolutely dominated the first sort of 30-35 minutes, and then get on the counter attack, and you could see what Palace's game plan was. It was to basically defend and then catch us on the counter attack. And to be fair to Zaha, it's a wonderful finish,
great finish
as well. But you'd have to say as well, Luis Diaz, fantastic goal as well. I think he's been a very good signing for us, Luis Diaz.
Quality signing. Is that what it is? Liverpool signings just don't seem to miss, and that's where we're lacking. You probably saw that stat on the graphic that I had on Sky Sports the other day when it was the list of grading the players transfers, and there's red, amber, and green. A majority of them are obviously red. For Liverpool, if you did the same graphic, I guarantee it wouldn't be like that. It'd be a lot more green. And that for me highlights the big issues at our club.
I think
I've said a few, like Minamino and players like that. You probably put what amber?
Probably amber, yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, because
they
have played their part.
I don't really.
Like the only ones really in the red I would probably say are probably like Karius. Karius wasn't great. I think he'd be a bit harsh to put Ox there. Oh yeah, Moreno, shocking. Yeah. Absolutely shocking.
Who's the one as well who went to Newcastle? What's his name? He came at a similar time to Moreno. Do you know what I'm on about, don't you?
I know who you mean.
I can't think of his name, but yeah,
I can't even think of his name. Most of them are amber or green. Stephen Cocker. Stephen Cocker's a red.
Yeah.
Because that signing made no sense completely.
Lambert, Carroll, players like that.
Wow, Jesus, yeah.
Klein.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Hello, Finn. Hope you're good, guys. Go and check out Finn's channel. By the way, we were meant to be doing a Premier League prediction stream on his channel, but he had a power cut, so he asked me to actually send in a wee clip for the Manchester United Liverpool game. So please go over and check that out. It was very, very good. Really hoping for something special, unfortunately not sure what United's strong point is at the moment. And then El Scarcere has said this is probably the most unpredictable team selections we've ever both faced in a build-up. Hell yeah. And Liverpool fans, there is more news coming out of Anfield. Naby Keita reportedly unhappy at Liverpool. Yes, this is according to one.
I'm going to say this from a rival's point of view. Where do you stand with Keita? Because he's a player that I watch and he's never really overly impressed me. I always think he's all right, but do you know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of Liverpool fans really like him.
He's never really hit the heights. He's never really He's not that same player that he was at Leipzig. Anyway, but this is what it says. Naby Keita is unhappy at Liverpool, and any contract renewal talks have been paused according to a report from Sky Sports in Germany. This is where it gets interesting. Played just 5 minutes of the Community Shield win over Manchester City, and he's yet to feature in the Premier League this season. This is from Florian Plettenberg. Exclusive news: Naby Keita, he is unhappy with the current situation in Liverpool. There were talks about a contract extension, but they have stopped now. His departure is possible, regardless of Thiago and Oxlade-Chamberlain. Wow. Talks between Liverpool and the midfielder are said to be in the early stages, but an exit could be on the cards, according to the report. Keita made 14 starts for Liverpool in the league last season and then added 9 appearances from off the bench. But this is the thing. You can't stay fit.
We'll be linked with him now. Guarantee. I guarantee.
Can't stay fit. Keita can't stay fit. He can't stay fit. Now, if what is believed to be rumoured that Dortmund have been a big admirer in him, and apparently Leipzig are wanting him back, I would cash in. If he ain't happy, I would cash in. But we need a midfielder. We need to sign a midfielder because our midfield is completely wrecked with injuries.
We've got someone called McTominay if you want to buy him.
No, thank you.
Or Fred.
As much as he is... plays for Scotland and all that. No, definitely not. I like the Ten Hag appointment. I said he needed time, a lot of time for Man United fans and the board at the downfall in the appointment. Same old bluffers throwing him under the... Yeah, exactly. Liverpool must beat United on Monday. Liverpool 4 points behind. Klopp has to bring the goal scorer in. One could see Bobby as a 9 in this game. Well, it depends if he's fit, isn't it, Gary?
I was going to say fit.
Yeah. Like and subscribe to both Sophie and thank you, Ravi. I do appreciate that. United aren't getting relegated. Stop it.
I'm not so sold on that not happening at the minute. That's how my mindset is. Like, nothing surprises me anymore, honestly.
No, it won't. Hello, John. Commiserations to Eintracht Frankfurt the other night against Real Madrid. I did kind of tune into the game. I thought Real Madrid were very, very good, unfortunately, for you guys. But no, looking forward to seeing Eintracht Frankfurt in the Champions League this season. Yeah, looking forward to seeing who you guys get, because you are in pot one. Yes, I know Carroll won a League Cup, but he's sell him then by Bell.
I would love
That is my
Bellingham.
dream. That is my dream to get Jude Bellingham.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. Hello. With greatest respect in the world to Baby Keita, as I call him, I've never been happy with him since he's been a Liverpool player, so this is music to my ears. Yeah, definitely is. But we will go to that time now. Starting 11. This is going to be very interesting. So what is your starting 11 for Monday?
So I'm going to say first what I would like, and then I'll say what I think. Okay, so I've gone Heaton in goal, drop the Gea.
Okay.
Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Martinez, Malacia.
Yep.
I've put Fred alongside. So this is where it gets a bit confusing. Does he drop Bruno and put Eriksen in the 10, and then have Fred and Donny behind, which I personally would like to see? Or if he doesn't drop Bruno, it'll be Fred, Eriksen, and Bruno in the 10.
Yeah.
Which we said didn't work the other day, but is he going to go say right your wrongs? And then in terms of front three, Sancho on the right, Ronaldo down the middle, Rashford on the left, but I have put /Garnacho because I'd like to see Garnacho given a chop, but it's not going to happen against Liverpool realistically, unless Ten Hag is that brutal, which I don't think he will be. So the only change I would say, so that was mine, what I would like, but I think De Gea will still start. I think Ten Hag will stand by him. I think Delors will probably keep his place. I'd like to think that Maguire won't play, and it'll be Varane and Martinez.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think Luke Shaw will probably start over Malacia. Again, I don't think that should happen. Midfield could possibly be McFred, if he's going to be a bit more disciplined, if you like, in there, with maybe Eriksen in front and Bruno dropped. And then Sancho, Ronaldo, and Rashford as a front three.
Interesting.
Like you said, it could have been so many different ways. Like, it's so hard to call.
Sebastian's said in the chat, Elanga.
You know what, Elanga? I can't knock him because he's one that always grafts, always gives everything, always works hard, presses high. And again, that shouldn't be a characteristic for starting for Manchester United, but that's where we are right now. Like, we need the bare basics from the player. I think Elanga gives you that. It just doesn't give you the quality on the ball going forwards. But if it is that we are sitting in and we want to counter-attack at pace, and Elanga does give that pace. So I wouldn't frown at it, given the current performances of our front three. But I'd like to think at some point, if he persists with Sancho, Ronaldo, and Rashford, we'll see some magic eventually. That's my hopeful thinking, anyway.
Yeah. So what? Oh, crikey! Who would it? Well, Alisson in goal. Definitely Alisson in goal. Trent. I think Gomez has to come in for this game. I don't want to see Nat Phillips up against Marcus Rashford. I know it happened a couple of seasons ago, and I think he did okay. But I'm going to go Gomez and Van Dijk at the back. Then, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think Andy Robertson gets dropped for this game. And I think Kostas Tsimikas comes in. Then, this is where it gets interesting. I think Fabinho will be dropped. I think Fabinho's form has not been great recently, and I think he needs a rest. So I'm giving Jordan Henderson the 6. Then, do you play Keita? Funnily enough, I think Keita might start this. So I'm going to go Henderson, Keita, Elliott, and then Diaz, Salah, Carvalho. I think Salah's going to be the main forward. I've got a feeling he'll be the main forward, and I think what's going to happen is that Bobby Firmino will probably come off the bench. Jota, for people who are aware, is not fit. He's not fit for this game. I think the likelihood he could be back for the Merseyside derby on the 3rd of September, potentially. Ali, Trent, Gomez, Van Dijk, Tsimikas, Henderson, Keita, Elliott, and then Diaz, Salah, and Carvalho. I think that's what's going to be. By the way, watch out for Carvalho because I think he is a wonderful
I saw
talent.
him at Fulham quite a bit last season as well. He's a very talented player for sure. The only thing I will say is a big step up to the Premier League, isn't it? So it's about whether he can hit.
It
But I
is,
think
yeah.
when he came on the other night, he had a great chance in that volley that just went wide. It was close. Yeah, he's definitely a talented player. And like I say, with your signings, it's very rare that they're missed. So yeah, exciting times for him and for Liverpool because you've snapped him up at the right time, it seems.
Yeah, certainly have. Just on Konate, I don't think Konate is going to be fit either. Matip
He was in
might
my
be back.
fantasy team as well. I was gutted about that.
Oh, Konate, is he?
I've stuck him out now, yeah. Because I didn't realise he was injured at the start of the season. So I put him in and then obviously I lost out on points and I was like, yeah, transfer him out. I think I put Diaz in there instead though.
Yeah, he got injured. I can't remember what game he got injured. He got injured against Strasbourg, I think, and stupid friendlies. Anyway, Rennie ain't going to be 9-0. So you can definitely get that away. Chris has gone Alisson, Arnold, Van Dijk, Gomez, Robertson. Oh, he kept Robertson, interesting. He's kept Fabinho, Henderson, Elliott, Salah, Carvalho, Diaz. I did have K instead of Fabinho, but never played an unhappy player. That is a good point. Alisson, Trent, Gomez, VVD, Robbo, Hendo, Elliott, Fab, Diaz, Firmino, Salah. So interesting, Firmino. Please play Van Dijk at right centre back. Arnold needs more protection defensively than Robertson. Robertson is our best defensive fullback.
I agree with that. I think your right hand side is weaker, definitely.
Definitely.
I definitely think that.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that. Cade Gordon, no, too big a game. Too big a game for Cade Gordon. He's only, 17, I think. Fabinho deserves to be dropped. He's been poor since the end of last season and the start of this season. Yes, he has. He's the biggest rival, Liverpool. Man United won, Liverpool 4. So Sebastian.
I don't think that's a bad shout.
We will get on to score predictions actually right now. I know you don't like to predict your team to lose, but what are you going for?
No, I'm going to go for a draw. What should happen is you should absolutely paste us. Like last season, after we lost 5-0. I don't think we're stupid enough to do that, especially after what's just happened. I'm hoping Ten Hag has had a word. I hope he makes some big calls as well. But there needs to be a shake-up. We can't. Last week was the most embarrassing, shocking. Do you know what I mean? There has to be some kind of response, surely. Yeah. And we haven't had a response from these players, obviously, in ages. But hopefully, this is the response against Liverpool. They always say, I know it's cliche, but this could have come at the perfect time for us. A game like this to kickstart our season. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. I'm going to say a draw because I just don't think we've got the quality at the back to shore it up. And also going forward, like I said, we haven't even scored this season. Yeah, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, I think. I don't think you've actually been firing on all cylinders, and we haven't. Both teams have conceded as well. I think it's going to be kind of I reckon we're going to ride our luck at times. I think you're going to have a few chances. We're going to ride our luck. I don't think by any chance it's going to be an equal game, but I think it'll be 1-1, and I think a lot of United fans would be happy with that right now, which is a sad state of affairs because that's where we're at. So I'm still not betting against me. I'm not betting against United, but I'm not optimistic we're going to
win. Yeah, I mean, if we had beaten Palace the other night, I would have probably been confident going into this game, but funnily enough, I do think you'll score in this game. I'm going to go 3-1. I think you'll score. And I think what's going to happen is I think defensive frailties at the back could be very, very costly as well. So I think
it depends 3-1. As well when say I said 1-1, but I'm thinking more we score, we're kind of hanging on, and eventually you score. But if, say, for example, if Liverpool score early on, then I fear the worst because we've already known these players crumble. So I think if Liverpool score early and you've got the momentum, then I think it could be a worrying scoreline. It does depend on how we start the game. I'm just hoping that there's a response. But as Chris has said there, leopards don't change their spots, and unfortunately that's been proven week in, week out with these players. Yeah. Like I say, for me, it's just hopeful thinking, wishful thinking, but I'm not actually confident that is going to happen.
Yeah. Manchester United, Liverpool 4. We should absolutely pace these low, but I'm fearful with this prediction because I expect United to be up for this, but they can't even be up for Brighton and Brentford. And as he says, leopards don't change their spots. Sophie, do you think United fans will boycott this game?
I think they should. Personally, I think they should. But who am I to tell another fan how to support United? Do you know what I mean? And I don't get that top red idea where it's like, oh, you're not a true fan if you go to the game. some people might have had a ticket from months ago and it'd be their only chance to see United. Like, you can't just say, oh, boy, do you know what I mean? But if I had a ticket, I wouldn't go. That's all I'm going to say. I haven't got a ticket. I'm not a member this season because I'm doing my own boycotting as it is. But if I did have, I wouldn't go. Because that's how angry we all feel at the moment with the situation at the club.
I can imagine.
So I think it'd be mixed.
Ravi's going 3-1 as well. If Liverpool win 4-0, it's Erik Ships 10-3 English Premier League games.
Couldn't write it, could you? Couldn't write it.
Oh, that's funny. As long as Klopp doesn't put Hendo in the central defence, we'll be okay. Yeah, that ain't happening. Good Christ, no, that'll not be happening. 3-0, says Gary. There will probably be protests outside. Yeah, definitely going to be happening as well. Bye, take care of yourself. Bye, Rennie. Hope you're yeah. Let's go this weekend. Southampton they have that. I have to say, I don't know about you, Sophie, but that's El Sakiko for me, because I think whoever loses that, I think gets sacked. I really do.
Rodgers, after the transfer window that they've had as well, obviously with Fofana possibly going to Chelsea as well, Tielemans possibly leaving, Maddison I've seen being linked to a move away as well. Like, Leicester fans, I imagine, are quite concerned at the moment because a lot of their golden era of squad, you'd say, are going, and there doesn't seem to be much quality coming in at the moment. Kasper Schmeichel really surprised me with that move. Like that came from nowhere.
That was a shock to me.
Expecting that.
They're not expecting.
And obviously, I know he's a goalkeeper and whatnot, but let's not forget how important he was in their dressing room. He'd won the league. He was a good character to have, captain. So I think, Leicester. I think it's an interesting one. I can see Rodgers being sacked first, if I'm honest.
I think so as well. This is the time to get your questions in for Sophie. I know she's well. Fearing the worst, I think, is the thing. But Sebastian, if Barcelona can't afford Bernardo Silva, and he's just come out and said that he's staying at Manchester City, then he ain't going to.
Didn't he say farewell the other day though as well? Well, it kind of like seemed like a farewell tone to his speech.
It was weird what he was saying, but he's obviously come out and said that he's happy. He wants to stay at Manchester City, which is all right, which is pretty good.
I just remembered one player that we didn't mention in the links as well. Aubameyang. There's a new one. I've been linked to Aubameyang today as well.
I mean, how many times have you been linked with Aubameyang in the past? Like I remember Liverpool being linked with Aubameyang, but like when Klopp came to Liverpool, I was, we're going to get Aubameyang. Klopp doesn't go back to former players, as we all know. Again, I think Aubameyang improves your team.
It does, but I do think he'll choose Chelsea over us. I think he'll choose Chelsea
possibly.
over us.
Yeah. According to the stats, United have 32 goal attempts over 2. We've had 35. Not much difference at all. Jesus.
There we go.
Yeah. Who is the most angry at Glazers, Soph or Maisie? I don't know.
I'd say equal. I think we're on a.
I would say equal.
Maisie's actually on my show on Saturday, so maybe we'll find that out. We're on a show together on Saturday at midday, so we'll see.
Thoughts on Fabinho, Ravi? He's just been poor from the end of last season, and this season he just looks off the pace at the moment. And I don't know if I think maybe just giving him like a game off might get him back into good form. I mean, maybe rest him. Well, actually, no. Maybe play him against Bournemouth next weekend. And then see what happens after that. Sebastian, Jan Sommer, I'm going to be honest. Jan Sommer, for me, is too good a goalkeeper to be a number 2. Jan
Do you not think he starts over De Gea, though?
I think he's better with his feet. I think he's very, very good with his feet, Sommer. I think Erik Ten Hag wants a ball-playing goalkeeper, doesn't he?
And I think it needs to be based on form. De Gea's form at the moment, you have to say, like the goals.
It's shocking, isn't it?
Sure, he deserves dropping. And if we had quality, someone like Sommer, like for me, that goalkeeper should fight it out. I don't mean that literally. Obviously, I don't want to see training ground bust-ups, but I mean, a bit like Ramsdale did at Arsenal. He plugged away, and obviously ended up overtaking Leno as number 1. Like I could see that kind of situation. De Gea is not going to be number 1 forever. especially if he
No.
keeps up this kind of form. So a lot of people saying Sommer won't come in and be number 2, but what's saying he's going to be number 2? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that is very, very true. That is very, very true. I think he would come in as number 1, and then I think it would probably move down Heaton to obviously number 3, and then I think De Gea needs some good competition. I think you've seen it at City. Yeah. They've obviously got Ortega from Arminia Bielefeld, which I think is a very, very good signing as well. Ooh, Ravi's asked you an interesting question. Thoughts on Garner and Iqbal? Are they ready?
For me, what we're trying so far this season isn't working. Play them. That's genuine in my opinion, because I think before, and like I say, if it was just the first 2 games, we've got to a slow start with Blah, fair enough. Like hopefully it'll kick in, but it wasn't. It was last season with the same players. We were seeing the same kind of levels of performances. They've had enough time to prove themselves. Garner and Iqbal, especially Iqbal, impressed in pre-season. Same for Garnacho, as I mentioned earlier. Play them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's my thoughts.
Garnacho is a proper talent. I really like the look of him. So,
and Iqbal, to be fair, they're kind of flashy players. And Garner, and a lot like Hannibal was another one as well. Obviously, gone on loan now, but we have got players in the youth setup who you think could be challenging or should be given a few more chances, especially regarding if first team are playing well. Of course, you know where you are as a kid. Obviously, sat on the bench, you accept it. If you're looking up, these are the players you should be looking up to. You're telling me players like Garner and Iqbal are looking up, thinking I couldn't do better than them right now. Of course they could. And like I say, pride is the biggest thing, and at least for the kids, you know you're going to be getting at least that. And we haven't been getting that. So I would play them, but Garner obviously apparently he's leaving, which, as we've already said, is baffling.
That's absolutely ridiculous. Would Manchester United ever leave Old Trafford? I don't think they would, to be honest. I mean, I can't really see it being.
You can't say in the future what's going to happen. Obviously, we love Old Trafford, and it needs work doing. Let's be fair. It used to be one of the best stadiums in the world, and now it's in tatters. So definitely another painting in at the moment. I've seen that. But work needs doing to 100%. I don't think we'd move, but I think renovations. Obviously, I know there's talk about a new Old Trafford on the same kind of grounds and whatnot. Nothing really has come of that, but you can never say never, can you? Because football changes and the world changes, and
Oh, Luca, I hate combined 11s. I absolutely despise combined 11s. So he's going to here. That, well, not on current form. Not on current form, I wouldn't say. Trent, I agree with Trent. VVD, I agree with. Varane.
I can't see and say any United players would make it into the Liverpool team right now.
I don't think they would.
Form. If this is based on current form, there should be no United players there, surely.
Yeah. I think that's fair. Yeah, I've got a question for you. Bruno Fernandes. What's happened to him?
No idea. A lot of people blaming Ronaldo coming in and whatnot. Be interesting to see actually what happens if Ronaldo does go. Bruno can't hide behind that. Like he has to perform because there's no excuses. For me, it's so rash. Like he's trying to do some, even like a 5-yard pass. He can't just play the pass with the instep. He has to try and do it with the outside of his foot. Like he's trying to overcomplicate everything. I like Bruno, but his form has been dreadful, and that's why I said if it was me, personally, I'd play Donny in the midfield with Fred or McTominay obviously in there, but rather see Donny, and I'd put Eriksen in the 10 and I'd drop Bruno for this game. But I'm not sure if that'll happen.
Well, it's all about if Ten Hag wants.
That's why Ten Hag's the manager and not me. I'm not on his money.
Yeah, that is why. Luca, absolutely agree with this. Bruno for me is shocking. What's happening? I just feel he rushes ball, does things complicate. Yeah, and he misses chances very easily as well.
Because he's trying to smash it. That's what I mean. Like sometimes you just think, Bruno, just take the time in. He's trying to do like a snazzy finish or smash it. And it probably is a confidence issue, to be fair, obviously, because he knows that we need to score goals and we need to get off to a flying start. And what he had that early chance, didn't he, against Brentford and blasted it over. And if that had gone in, you'd probably say it'd be different. But I don't know. For me, it's just Lucas said it there as well. It's overcomplicating everything. He's making everything more dramatic than it needs to be. I think if he keeps his game simple, 1-2 touch passes, I think mostly the best out of him passing and movement. You can never fault his effort. I'll say that. Obviously, he does strop and stuff when a decision doesn't go his way. But 9 times out of 10, if he loses the ball, he's the main guy running back trying to get it. But you can't fault that with him. But on the ball, as a creative midfielder to play for Manchester United, especially in the situation we are right now, you need to be a lot better, and he hasn't been good enough.
Yeah. There's a couple of questions here about De Gea. Now, what I will do is I will ask both of these combined. So one is from Helen. She says, should De Gea either retire or find another club, or had Henderson not been sold, let Henderson be number one instead? And then Ravi has gone, Sophie, honest thoughts on De Gea. What has happened to his levels?
What I will say is respect him. He didn't have to. He came out afterwards and he apologised, didn't he? And I think De Gea has 9 times out of 10, he's been the guy who's come in front of the camera. He hasn't been a hider. But he's probably the first one to say, like, you can't let in goals like that if you're playing for Manchester United. It just can't be done. I think, for me, I wouldn't get rid of him, but I would bring a good goalkeeper in. Sommer, obviously, is the one that's been mentioned as competition, and I would drop De Gea. None of these Hendersons there in the Europa League and David, like, whatever goalkeeper is playing well, you stick with them, regardless, like, what competition is, regardless of ability for his performances, because right now he can make mistakes and know that he's not really going to be dropped, and that's the issue, isn't it? I think with competition there, he has to be better. I mean, he's been dropped out of the Spain squad and stuff as well, so there obviously is a decline in quality there with De Gea. He's not as highly recommended as he once was, so I think a bit of competition will help him. I wouldn't get rid of him just yet, but I would drop him for sure if we had someone like Sommer.
Yeah, definitely. And this is just spot on.
Yeah.
Why you let Sergio Romero go, I'll never know. He was
I was reading
recently
at the time, he was coming back.
Yeah, he was at the time the best backup keeper in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Like, you probably, at that time, you probably had one of the best keepers in De Gea, and then one of the best backups in Sergio Romero.
But you can't blame Romero as well for wanting to play regular football, can you? You can't blame him.
No, definitely not.
So,
definitely not. And last one, De Gea's distribution is awful. I feel older he gets, he isn't great. For me, he has been at the club as 11 years. United need someone like Oblak, but Jan Sommer, good experienced goalkeeper. And Ravi's gone, big up, Sophie, loving your opinions as always, so real and raw. Yeah, guys, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much to everyone who's watched this evening, and a big thank you, Sophie, for coming on. And it's all doom and gloom at Man United at the moment. So, but hopefully for your sake that things will get better. But tell people where they can find you.
Thank you so much for having me, Doug. As always, a pleasure to be on your channel. My channel is Ladies in Red, so if you guys haven't already, please go and hit the sub there. Like I say, I'm live on Saturday at midday with Maisie. I'll be doing a call-in show as well this weekend, probably Friday evening, but I'll put a tweet out beforehand because I think a lot of United fans need therapy at the moment and just need to offload. So yeah, Ladies in Red, if you could hit the sub, I'd appreciate it. And Sophie Richards on Twitter as well, give me a follow. And Sophie Richards with a kiss on the end of it on Instagram as well. Thanks, Doug.
My pleasure. And Lucas said 3-1 Liverpool. So then Helen has gone hide behind the sofa.
That might be true, to be fair, Helen. Or, a blanket and just peering over it or something, I don't know.
We both might have to do that. But yeah, guys, obviously if you have missed the replay, then obviously please let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Who is going to win this game? Are Man United going to get a morale boosting victory, or will Liverpool pile more misery onto Manchester United? Big up, Sophie and Douglas. Much love. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Yeah, we've got until Monday to wait for the Monday night football.
At least I can't ruin my weekend. That's all I'm saying.
That's
At least I can't
true.
ruin the weekend.
That is very, very true. That is very, very true. But guys, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you very, very soon, and hopefully for a very good game on Monday evening. See you later. Bye-bye.